Greetings, gamers. Welcome to the first ever Cornborn Reacts video. Today I found this creator who I think this whole channel is just going to be dedicated going through his backlog, seeing what he's talking about, see if he's valid or not, got good points, see if he has ball knowledge. So I think this is just a good place to start, is the first video in his catalog. His entire catalog has something about doing something with being dope. I don't know. That's interesting. But this first video, interestingly enough, called Is Super Mario Sunshine Lame? Whoa. How wacko jacko is that? Let's take a look, see if this guy's valid or not. I played this game myself. Let's see if he's got some good points. I'm definitely down to see what he's about.
All right. Ever feel like you're in a slump of anything? I mean, it could be creative, it could be hobbies, it could be your job, anything. You ever feel that? I've been in a creative slump recently. My full-time creative outlet is my band. And when I'm writing new music, eventually I just plateau. I feel like after trying to be creative for so long, I just need some sort of structure to kind of help me reset from the open-ended possibilities of creating music. My schedule, it normally looks like this.
All right, so off jump immediately. Guy knows ball, because I've been in this exact same situation, I swear on my life, where I started a band, I got a little burnt out of it, so I wanted to try something different, and this guy has been through the exact same thing. Crazy work. We look the same. We have the exact same experiences so far. I'm blown away already. I will say, though, already 28 seconds in, hasn't mentioned the game. Crazy work. Best of luck to him on this one for trying to have these long-winded intros or whatever. So best of luck there, buddy. But let's keep going and see how long it actually takes him to get to the game.
2 to 3 weeks of nonstop guitar playing and songwriting, and then 2 to 3 weeks of just absolutely cooking video games. I don't know, for some reason I feel like that just helps me stay sharp and on my toes. I get burnout from one thing to help me naturally shift into the next.
All my Tismos out there know how it is, dude. That's like, I get it, bro. Like, I'm the same way. Like, I go super hard on one thing, and then I want to go to the next thing, and it's like, dude, I need to just lock in on one thing and keep it going, right? Like, in the moment, currently obsessed with the game of chess, dude. I don't know, like, I just move on from one thing to the next. This guy gets it so far. I'm 100% on board with him. He's right. I get it.
At one point, I swear, it was even just a whole year straight of just cooking video games. And then after that is when I started my newest band. So I feel like it was like the scales were kind of shifting. I don't know. A couple weeks.
Did he just invent the 6-7 is the real question.
So I feel like it was like the scales were kind of shifting.
6-7.
I don't know. A couple weeks is just
26-year-old man right here, by the way.
Just enough time to where I can knock out a good game, get back into guitar playing without slowly turning into that weed girl from the anti-weed commercial.
That's ball knowledge, because that was the most horrific thing as a child. Seeing that commercial, that girl who wanted to smoke on that macaroni and kush pack, dude, and she got absolutely zoinked, flattened out by a Mack truck on the couch. Terrifying. So good reference here. I like that. That made me laugh. That was good.
The deflated on the couch. You know what I mean? But in those
Yeah, I do know what you mean.
2 to 3 weeks, I feel like I always find myself playing the same retro games that I loved when I was a kid.
I feel that. I feel like there's a really big reason for that, where I just want to play like a lot of the games that I played as a kid, because, I don't know, there's the nostalgia to it, right? There's the rose-colored glasses. It brings you, it's more than just the game itself. It brings you back to where you were when you first played that game, right? So I get where he's coming from, where he's like, you just want to go back, you just want to play those older games. Bro's checking off every box so far. I'm with him.
My most recent binge of a game, you might know which one it was. There was a point where
Game mentioned, minute 24, let's go.
I was just punching the air as hard as I could, saying,
if I had to play this game when I was 7 years old, I would actually be in a mental asylum right now.
That's the thing that
Yeah, that's real.
it brought me to this question of, are these actually good games, or do they have great art style? Do they have great music, mechanics, gameplay, a history to them? Or does it just remind me of a simpler time when I didn't have any bills or responsibilities or a full-time job? Or, oh, God.
It's exactly what I was saying, dude. Like, there's a feeling I just farted. There's a feeling to this game, not this game, but any game that you play, like that you play when you were a kid, like where it takes you back to where you were, how you felt, the kind of person you were. Like there's something transformative about it. It is a true time capsule. Like there's obviously music can do that, a lot of different media can do that, but there's something about video games specifically that can do that. And escaping, like finding a form of escapism, it's real. So standing in the cubicle, that's bars. I literally do that every day. Me and this guy, dude.
So during this cycle, I decided to strip away all the games that I've normally played before and try to pick up a new one that I've never played before. I needed to get a fresh experience and really dive into a video game and analyze it from the inside out. And you may have guessed it. This one is Super Mario Sunshine.
Bang!
Sunshine! Woo-hoo!
Yeah, I busted out the whole Sunshine fit for this one. I decided to play this game.
Bro needs to bust out the iron for his shorts. Can we keep it a fresh buck real quick? Bro decided to put up the phone and record the video. Look at these shorts, dude. Run a hot coal over them. Something. Put your phone out on your dashboard for 10 minutes and run them over them shorts, buddy. Those are not looking great, okay? That's the first thing you need to be focusing on. Right here on the shorts. No, wait. This part. Yeah, need to iron that out, dude. Lock in on getting your money up before you get your funny up. I think that's an ancient proverb that was said somewhere.
Game because I'm an enormous fan of Super Mario 64. When I was a wee lad, my half-brother would come over every other weekend, and my dad, he got him a Nintendo 64 at the time, so he would have something to do and he would come over. So
that is literally exactly what my dad did. That story, like that one hit home for me a little bit. That's so weird. I was in the exact same situation. My dad got an N64 for my older brother to play when he came over on custody weekends, and we got to play it when he was gone. Like, that's so nichely specific. I love it. Like, locked in, dude.
My earliest memories was picking up that Nintendo 64 controller, which, mind you, the controller looks like it would be on the head of the bad guy from Spy Kids.
That's bars.
Anyway, ripping around the castle in Super Mario 64, that burned some of the most exciting memories into my head as a kid. It really set a standard for me on what I think a video game should be like. Throughout my life, since I was a tiny little boy, I have beat Bowser multiple times, and I've also 100% completed the game twice. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Please keep the applause for that.
Please.
The thing was, I never had a GameCube when I was a kid. We were a PlayStation 2 house after the 64.
Same here. What? This feels like Freaky Friday, dude. Feels like I'm looking into a mirror. It's insane.
The only memories that I ever have of playing a GameCube was going over to my friend's house and we would rip Ultimate Spider-Man. So, as a mega fan of Super Mario 64, I decided it was time to expand my horizons and jump into the world of Super Mario Sunshine.
Only took 3 minutes and 59 seconds to start actually talking about the game instead of his own self. Hilarious, dude. Lock in. All right. Title of the video again. Why is it so lame? Let's find out why this game is so lame. 4 minutes in.
Super Mario Sunshine, it starts you off on a plane with Mario, Peach, and Toadster, or whatever that guy's name was, and you're flying off on a vacation to the Isle Delfino. When you land on the strip of Isle Delfino, Mario and the crew, they discover that the entire island is just covered in inky goop.
What's this icky paint-like goop?
Luckily, on the airstrip, there's this new technological device. It's called the Flood. F-L-U-D-D. The
Wait. Hold up.
technological device. It's called the Flood. F-L.
Not good here, buddy. Yeah, this one's going straight to Twitter. Straight to Twitter. Hey. Straight to Twitter, dude. Busted. Going to jail for that, actually. Not great arm position here. As we can tell, that has some pretty bad historical context. Not sure if that's obviously not his intention, but should have been a little more conscious about where the hand placement was when recording this video. So
L-U-D-D. The flesh liquidizer ultra,
I am Flood, a flash liquidizer ultra dowsing device.
which was made by Professor E. Gadd. A little bit of Mario lore. He's the same guy that made the ghost-sucking backpack for Luigi in his mansion, but this one talks, so.
Which is hilarious because Mario has literally zero lore. I don't know why in this game they decided to give the device a creator god, never introduce him ever, but then you have to find out about it through a wiki later on instead of the game itself, dude. What?
Mario grabs the flood. He's got a little bit of training to go through. He picks it up, starts squirting the water, and this is the player's first introduction on how to use this new mechanic and device. The problem here, the arc, is that the citizens of Isle Delfino, they're pissed because there's goop everywhere. There's goop on their melons and on the fruit and on their fruit and their melons, because that's all they do is sell fruit and melons.
Which is true. The Nintendo found a way to create these characters in the city, and all they do is sell melons to each other. Talk about some of the weirdest economy you've ever seen. You see a lot of those YouTube videos nowadays where it's like, what's the economy and look like? This one is specifically just exchanging melons back and forth like they are a fiat currency. So shout out to Nintendo for the creativity on that one. For real.
There's just goop all over their stuff. Okay. There's some guy that looks like Mario. He's going around and he's just gooping up the entire island. And the citizens of Isle Delfino, they demand justice. This guy, who, mind you, is revealed later, his name is Shadow Mario. Yeah, that's some pretty good writing there. They send Mario to court. When I said they're pissed, they're pissed. And they send him to court, and then eventually they send him to jail.
That is funny. Like, I don't know whose big genius brain idea that was over at Nintendo. Shigeru Miyamoto, perchance? Let's put our poster boy in a prison cell. Hey, let's give Crash Bandicoot a crack pipe. Hey, let's give Master Chief a DUI. Who thought of this? Like, he's right about it. The absurdity of this. Crazy.
Like, this is a picture I would have never imagined to see in my entire life, is Mario sitting in a jail cell. But you know what, Nintendo? Do your thing. Mario gets released from his jail sentence, and what they charge him with is gooping, right? So they say, with your new conveniently found flood device, you need to go around and you need to clean up the island. If you're chasing Shadow Mario, he's got this magical brush that's painting up walls so you can jump into these new worlds. Spoiler alert, Shadow Mario actually turns out to be Bowser Jr. because he had a magic paintbrush that let him cover himself in disguise goop, I guess. So here's the thing. We're about 15 to 20 minutes.
Here's a spoiler alert probably for you guys. I haven't even finished this video for the rest of the video. Bro's throating this mic the rest of the video. Dog is acting like this is a microphone sandwich he just got from Subway, fresh out the minute-long toaster in between some Italian herbs and cheese bread, a little bit of provolone, maybe some green peppers, some cucumbers. Munching down on this mic crazy style. Hopefully in the future, maybe perchance the next video, he buys a better mic. But as of right now, I understand, hey, first video struggles, right? We're going through it right now, too, on this channel. Never made a YouTube before me. So we're just going to cut him some slack, but I mean, it is pretty bananas.
That's into this game. Here are some key points that I think are super important to know about the story. These guys on the island,
They love selling melons.
Mario is now a felon. So, oh God. Obviously, the royal power of Princess Peach means absolutely nothing.
Objection! Overruled.
Every
Peak comedic timing there on Nintendo's part for the long, drawn-out pause. Overruled. Fire. That had me chuckling when I first played the game as well. So that was a good addition.
except for when it comes to getting kidnapped. So, hey, speaking of that, this is a Mario game, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking here, is that normally in a Mario game, what's the whole point is that Princess Peach, she gets captured. So this is kind of cool. Mario's in jail. He gets out of jail. The whole point is to clean up. This is sweet. I like, yeah, she gets kidnapped.
Yeah, no, this is true. Because in the game, especially, like you start off, and it's probably about 20-25% of the main game, maybe the story, maybe 15. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not a mathematician. Point being at the time, you're like, yo, this is a completely different vibe check for Mario. Normally it's save Princess Peach through platforming, blah. You kind of get excited about it. Then this happens and you get dookied on. Not great. I mean, it's still fine. It's still a right experience, but like definitely the creativity department is actually just a bag of beans and poop that they hang up in the Nintendo office and use as a speed bag like Rocky. And whatever falls out of it is what they decide to make their next game. So
that's like 80% of the game. On top of cleaning stuff, all the goop up, and collecting these things around the island that they just conveniently introduced called shines. So he's got 3 different jobs at once. And then the finale of the game is you save Peach. You save Peach, you defeat Bowser, and the Shadow Mario, which is Bowser Jr., they go away. For some reason, the flood dies.
Mario, was I, assist,
that was weird.
yeah, no, I like what he's about to say. That is weird. I've always thought that. First off, what is so exciting? What is bro right here jazzed about? He's literally holding dead homie in his arms. Jazzed. Look how excited this guy is. Look how excited. Super stoked for some reason to have dead homie in his arms. Not chill. Yeah, let's just kill off one of the new main mechanics of the game. Great idea, Nintendo. Good idea. That would definitely is goofy. I'm with him on that.
And then eventually you just get to chill and relax. That's the story. I don't know. I don't know. But here's the thing. Do I really enjoy a Mario game because it's got such a riveting story? No. Almost
I like the mic slap. That was a little addition to the bit.
all of the Mario game stories can be attested down to one sentence. Save Princess Peach. See, but that's the thing about the Mario games, is that's what makes them so interesting, is that on surface level, the story is absolutely nothing. It's the worlds and the gameplay and the new characters. All of those things come together to world build in a sense that tells a story that's way more intricate than anything that would be sitting on the surface level.
So he's about 8 minutes and 35 seconds in, has not mentioned once why this game is lame. Don't really know what's up with that. I'm thinking, again, first video ever, cut him some slack there. Gonna cut him a little bit of slack, but it's been entertaining. I've liked what he's talked about. Obviously, recap the game, blah, blah, blah. Let's get to the point. When's the point hit?
Each of the maps and the levels within this non-existent story, mind you, actually do have a really good job of bringing something new and exciting to this Mario universe, is something that we've never seen before.
Bro's door-to-door salesman with me right now, knocking on the door. You ever played Super Mario Sunshine before? Here's the things that make it great. Why is the video called Is This Lame? What are we talking about here? Is he about to go on a Glaze-a-thon for the next 3 minutes? What's happening?
The exciting point of these games that separates them from past and future games is the worlds, and it's the little gimmicks that they put inside of them. When it comes to worlds, Super Mario Sunshine does just an absolutely incredible job of world building. Some of the standout worlds here that I'll throw in the background behind me: Rico Harbor, Piana Park, and Noki Bay. From different home villages to the locals, from where there's a harbor where they're bringing in the goods and services to the island, to hotels and beaches. And the entire thing about this game is it really does feel like a tropical paradise. And I'll give Nintendo credit where it's due.
He is right about that. The game, especially, dude, like there's something about like the way they built the worlds between the different levels. It really does feel all contained to one spot, which I'm assuming he's about to bring up 64 because he was talking about how much he used to bounce on it or whatever. But in the process of that, I think the thought behind what he's about to say most likely has to do with the fact that 64 was very spread out. Like it had this world and that world and this world. It'd be snowy world. It'd be whatever world. This is a whole very cohesive experience. So again, he's right, but where's the lameness?
About these hotels and beaches, they really are different from Super Mario 64, which again, I am two-time world-time. Shut up.
Did I not call it? To a T, dude. It's almost like weird.
It's very different from Super Mario 64 because in Super Mario 64, you can go from a snowman world to the equivalent of
Mario Hell.
and then go to a sunken pirate ship, all within the span of 3 different levels. The art direction in itself, too, also really hammers in that feeling of a tropical landscape because it does use color palettes that are super bright. It does use tropical assets, obviously, like palm trees. And something that I think I read somewhere about the GameCube that said that it had the best processor for processing water. I have a feeling that's why they made this game. I don't know. If I find an article, I'll link it or I'll put it right here, but I think I heard that somewhere, so we'll see if that's true.
That is true. So actually, the gameplay or the GameCube itself, obviously could produce a lot more graphical power than the Nintendo 64 did. So a way that they showed that off a lot was through their water graphics. So that, like in a game like Wave Runner or obviously in Sunshine, Wind Waker, there's a lot of these different games where the water is a big focus of it. Because that was one of the most realistic things they could produce. Like, that's something that everybody's seen. We all know what the flow of water looks like. So the fact that they got a way to nail that in the early 2000s, bananas. And they did that on purpose.
Obviously, the entire purpose of a 3D Mario game is it's a platforming collectathon. You get thrust into a new world from the intro world. You go in there and you talk to somebody and you find out what's going on. And then you run around being a little goofy goober to go figure out what happened. You do see a lot of repeating factors come over from Super Mario 64 into Super Mario Sunshine. Let's go over a few of them. You got to collect a bunch of red coins to achieve your collector. This one in this game is a shine. You have to collect 100 coins to get a shine. You race against a speedy worldly character to get a shine. You get lost in a puzzle-based world to collect a shine. And obviously, platforming. All these things are awesome because they give you a sense of familiarity to the old games while you're experiencing.
All these things are awesome because blah, blah, blah. Get to the lameness, dude. I like being mad about stuff. Outrage sells, baby.
A new world. Having all these old features are important because it helps you, the player, get wrapped up in this new world, but with a lot of familiar characteristics. The great thing about this game is it does bring a lot of intricate new experiences to the Mario universe. There's levels where you're surfing on the back of a squid. There's levels where you're ripping around on a roller coaster shooting rockets at a balloon. There's gambling. There's one where
Yeah, sign me up. I'm down for this game.
you die.
No, I get the point that he is saying here, though, is that there is a lot of different kind of like mini game styled structure in this, which is fun. It does switch it up a little bit from the normal jump to this to that to get this. You know, shooting rockets or riding squid, gambling. All that is dope. He's right.
Dive to the bottom of a bottle and you got the flood on and it turns into a jetpack. It's pretty sweet. Alongside the levels, there are some super cool bosses that you do get to fight against. And they're all worldly and very tropical. All right, let's go down the list of the bosses. Here we go. Petey Piranha, Gooper Blooper, the Wiggler, Mecha Bowser, King Boo at the Casino, Ely Mouth, Chain Chomplets, Normal Bowser, and of course, Shadow Mario. These experiences were just extremely fun for this game, and obviously coinciding with collecting the Flood in itself is the main foundation of this entire game. You didn't realize within the first 30 seconds of gameplay that the Flood was going to be important. Well, the entire game is designed around its functionality, its mechanics, and its core abilities. The cool thing about the Flood is it's not just made to clean up goop, it's also adds a lot of new moves to Mario's roster, right? So it allows him to do like a spinning kickflip, or it allows him to hover over stuff that he couldn't have got to before, or with the new attachments, he can launch himself up into the air, or he can zoom really fast across the map. The thing is that the Flood is definitely this game's gimmick.
That is real. I'm sorry. I was texting. So, no, he's right about the gimmick thing, though. A lot of those Mario games have gimmicks. We got the Cappy. We got the fat, chubby star in Galaxy. You don't really have one in 64, but...
Right, as Super Mario Odyssey had the hat. I forget what was in Galaxy, but...
God forbid bro does 5 seconds worth of research about a franchise he's talking about. Goodness me.
This is the gimmick. It doesn't define Mario, but this is the thing that makes the game Super Mario Sunshine. You know what I mean? There are a lot of levels in this game where it just revolves around cleaning up goop. For example, there is one where you just clean up a bunch of inky goop. There's another one where you clean up fiery goop, or you clean up a bunch of squiddly goop, or electric goop that comes from a manta ray that hovers over the sky. And I have a theory that the people who created Power Wash Simulator played Super Mario Sunshine.
This is like his first mild criticism, is that it's repetitive. I'm with him, though. He's right. A lot of those levels are repetitive. It doesn't make the game lame, though.
And they were like,
Yeah, this is it.
speaking of new mechanics for the game, we cannot talk about mechanics without talking about the one character that has not been introduced in a 3D Mario game up until this point. Yoshi. This is huge news, mind you, because the last time that we saw Yoshi in a 3D Mario game, he looked like this. Yoshi is unlocked after you complete the 4th level at Piano Park. When you return to the Delfino Plaza, you'll come back and Shadow Mario's sitting there with a Yoshi egg, and you got to go around, run and chase him, spritz him up a bunch, and then you get Yoshi. So the only way that you can open up the Yoshi egg is by bringing him a specific fruit. And where on Isle Delfino am I going to find some fruit? From the people where all they do is sell and trade fruit. So it's pretty easy to just run
That was good. I like that callback to the fruit joke.
around, find
Nice.
the
Nice.
fruit that's literally hanging above his little question mark head thing, and then you open him up. Cool thing about Yoshi is that it does introduce a higher jump.
Everything is so cool. I'm with him. Like, I like a lot of these things about the game. Like, he's got it, but like, dude, what about this is lame? Like, I feel like I'm getting baited right now. Not in the cool way.
Mechanic. So if you're going around the plaza or you're the different islands where Yoshi is available, there are a few different levels where it's helpful to have his extra jump. When he eats the fruit, he gets a big tummy full of juice. Only time that I've seen this really be useful is there's one level where the fish are jumping out of the water. He shoots his juice at them and they turn into platforms, and then you find your way to this. Don't worry about it. One of my biggest gripes about this game is I feel like the whole Yoshi portion was a little underused. I think that he could have added a lot more quality and gameplay to this game, but I think off the top of my head, there might have only been 2 levels where it was crucial for you to have Yoshi. All these new mechanics, characters, gameplay.
That is true. I wish that they would have introduced Yoshi a lot more into this game as well. I'm with him on that. Yeah, it just felt like it was very light-handed when he could have been such a huge part of the game. It was only a few different times, and it was really fun. It was fun to play as him, but yeah, no, he's right about that.
Art style. They do a great job of introducing a Mario fan into this new Mario world. Sadly, there's giant aspects of this game that just keep me from being the same type of fan towards it as I am towards Super Mario 64.
Here we go. Only 15 minutes and 20 seconds in does he start talking about why it's lame. Crazy work here, dude. First try, first video for him. That's fine. I hope next video he like focuses a lot more on the subject of what the title is and the thesis, you know. So far, I mean, it's been entertaining. Like I said, it's been entertaining, but it's definitely like the fact that I'm this far in is pretty rare. I feel like most people would probably click off about 2 minutes in. He hasn't talked about why it's lame one time.
The problem here is that Nintendo had this entire world at its disposal. And while they could have used a real creativity-based approach to creating levels with these new characters and mechanics,
Yeah, they didn't do that.
here's a great example. Remember Shadow Mario? Why do I have to chase him around every single world that I go into? I'm not even exaggerating. It is every single world you go into. Bianco Hills, Shadow Mario.
I've noticed that a lot. He keeps looking at something. What is
It
this?
is every single world you go into. Bianco.
I've noticed that like at the end of clips or whatever, he'll look down. Hold up. Look at this. Like, what is he looking at? Are there 2 rats fighting inside of one of those Beyblade plastic bowls that you would rip together in your friend's garage as a kid? Are they fighting each other over who gets to get on top of his head and start making up some French cuisine in his kitchen? What's going on? Why does he keep looking down there? I don't know. Like, I don't know. That's the rats fighting is the only thing that makes sense to me.
Hills. Shadow Mario on the list. Rico Harbor, Shadow Mario Revisited. Gelato Beach, it's Shadow Mario. Go get him. Piano Park, it's Shadow Mario in the park. Serena Beach, Shadow Mario checks in. Piano Village, Shadow Mario runs wild. And mind you, you have to do this multiple times in Delfino Plaza. When you have to save Peach a few times. When you want to get the Yoshi egg. When you want to get the Rocket Knot.
He is right about this, though. There's a lot of parts of this game that feel very repetitive. And not like that's not normal for a Mario game. The repetition is jump, collect something. But like, though, you'd think that there'd be some sort of like challenge to it. It really just is the same thing, copy and pasted in different places. Like, he is right about this.
When you want to get the turbo nozzle. I probably chased after this guy 12 to 15 times. He never got faster, jumped higher, or whatever. Just ran around. It was so easy and it was so repetitive, and it just made me. But the problem is it was something new. That was my whole point, was they were introducing some new gameplay, new mechanics. At first it was fun, right? You're like, this is great. I'm going to run him around. I'm going to spritz him.
Go get him, Tiger.
By the third or fourth time, straight up, I was just bored. The one positive thing I will give the Mario design team is the fact that they did find a way to spread them out. It wasn't like back to back you were chasing after him, but it was more than once. It was probably 13 to 15 times you did the same mission in a different spot. Every time
No, he's right. Like, that definitely was super annoying during the playthrough. But again, they should have been at the beginning of the video. What are we doing?
I just saw Shadow Mario, I would just sigh to myself. I would do it, but I would just sigh to myself. I talked about bosses and levels earlier, and they do bring a lot of new fun, intriguing ideas to this game. But the problem is, if we're going to talk about repetition, Bianca Hills, Episode 2, Down with Petey Piranha. Bianca Hills, Episode 5, Petey Piranha Strikes Back. Rico Harbor, Gooper Blooper breaks out. Rico Harbor, Episode 5, Gooper Blooper returns.
One thing that is annoying that I've noticed is that he burps in a lot of his sentences, and I just don't understand why people do that. You know what I mean?
Noki Bay, the boss of the Tricky Ruins. It says his name is the Calamari King, but it's just fucking Gooper Blooper again. Gelato Beach, Episode 5, Piantissimo's Sand Sprint. Noki Bay, Episode 5, Piantissimo's Surf Sprint Shrine. Yeah. Piana Village, Episode 2, Piantissimo.
I don't want to do this anymore.
You just have to do these concepts over and over and over. And yes, maybe when they were designing them, they thought, let's increase the difficulty a little bit. And it was like this much, but not a crazy amount. And there's one other huge point that is instrumental to this game of why it just throws me for a loop. We got to talk about the elephant in the room here. The platforming worlds. In every single world, there's another subworld inside of it. You find your way into some mysterious cave or a portal, and as you're getting sucked down into it, Shadow Mario kicks in, steals FLUDD from you, and now you're sitting in this fucking weird 3D space with a bunch of spinning shit, and you got to run around and platform on it. These are hands down the hardest levels in the entire game.
No, these levels suck so bad. He's so right. Especially when it comes from a game design perspective, because like a way that they did it correctly was like in Galaxy, where it'd still be inside of the same world, it'd be cohesive, you'd still have the same power-ups, whatever, you'd work your way through it. It felt like it was a part of the world. The immersion was there. This, it was like you just jumped in there and it felt like you were inside of that giant screen that they used to record The Mandalorian. You know what I mean? Like nothing felt real. You're inside of a Jumbotron. It didn't add up to this beach vibe. They were like, you know what, we just kind of ran out of ideas, so what if we just threw them in this magical space? No, he's right. It's stupid. And they were hard.
They are the most unforgiving, nightmare fuel inducing, rage coma engraving levels I have ever played on a 3D Mario game. Ever. It's always work your way across this endless, floorless, emptiness abyss, or just die. There's no safety nets. There's no checkpoints. You just die and start over until you're out of lives. You start over in Delfino Plaza. You go back to get FLUDD stolen, and then you just keep going in and just keep getting
Destroyed.
Thank God I was playing the game in a way where I could have save states, because when I was playing those platforming sections, what I would do is I would save right before I had to get to the next part, so if I died, I could just refresh it real quick. Okay, I'm guilty as charged. Sorry, I'm not an OG gamer. Whatever, get out of my head.
That is a big point of discussion online, are people talking about save states in older games. And while, yes, it's not the way that the game was designed, you're acting like you wouldn't get the polio vaccine because that's not the way God designed Earth. Well, actually, some people do think like that. I take that back. Point being, When modern advances come out and they help you out, why would you not take advantage of them? That's so dumb to me. That doesn't make any sense. Like, if that's going to help you enjoy the game more and complete the game, why would you not take advantage of that? People who, if you use save states and people poop on you, hit them with the double bird and take a crap on their doorstep, bro. Not worth it.
Platforming part is the most annoying part of the repetition. It's hard, too. It's so incredibly hard. You always find some spinning blocks, or the thing is moving up and down to the right, or there's a glass thing you got to parkour off of, or you got to, there's only one out of all the platforming ones that are unique. It's the hardest of the hard. It is the Chucksters. So basically, the Chuckster is a guy that you go up to and you have to look at him at an exact angle. When you talk to him, he'll grab you and throw you. There's a guy walking around like he's looking like he's trying to sell some fruit. And then you go up to him and
There's the fruit joke again. Love it.
you press B because you want to get to the end of the platforming section. But if you're just even a milli-angle off.
You say milli-angle? Milli-angle is not a standard unit of measurement. I mean, this is AI overview, so before I take the word of a computer, I'd rather jump into a bath with a toaster, but I don't think that's a word.
I don't know if that's a word.
If you're
Okay, he doesn't know. It's okay. All right, we're good. He doesn't know it's a word either. All right, at least he admitted it.
a milli-angle off and you press B and he shit whips you and you miss the platform, you're back to the beginning, buddy. I swear I'm not even exaggerating. This level probably took me 100 tries. I'd like to consider myself a completionist. There's just something about completing a game that you just love so much, right? It's because you just want to see that trophy in your inventory, or you want to have that peace of mind in the back of your head that that game that you spent so many hours being invested in, you've done every single thing that they can ask you to do out of it. It's a fun feeling. I figured I got to do it. I got to add it to the roster. I'm going to 100% this game. Let's just do a little comparison, as I have been, to Super Mario 64. In Super Mario 64, you need 70 stars to beat Bowser. Let's do a little bit of quick math here. There's 15 worlds in Super Mario 64. There's 6 stars per level. 15
90.
times 6 is 90. 90
That's how it's done. Quick mental math. Subscribe to the channel.
stars if you get all the levels completed. You don't even have to do that. That's the fun part about the game is that, let's say you wanted to do 4 stars here, 4 stars here, 4 stars here, 6 stars here because you love that level, 6 stars here, whatever. Then you get to 70. You go beat Bowser, just beat Bowser, swag. There's still all those stars left that you can collect in those levels because you were only doing 4, 4, 4, 4, 6, 3, 6, whatever, right? A couple secret stars or whatever. The problem with Super Mario Sunshine is you only need 49. Only need 49 shines. So the issue here is that you have to beat every single world up until the 7th level to beat Bowser. I'm just going to do that. I'll go finish it and then I'll do the rest later. It's fine. My biggest flaw as a person who plays video games is the fact that I always stick to doing the main storyline first. So if the main storyline is beat Bowser, I'm going to do the 7 stars and 7 levels first, get 49, go cook them, finish up the rest. Came back super proud. Looked at my shines. I said, I did it. And I was kind of thinking, I was like, it took 70 in that last game. Maybe this game's just a little shorter or whatever. So I Googled it. 120 still? What am I supposed to do with this? I already beat all the levels. That was the fun of Super Mario 64 is you got to go back to these levels you already loved, collect the stars. Now in this one, I already beat all the levels. What am I supposed to do now? Run into a box and stumble across one 60 times? Team,
I'm with him. That's so true. No, that is incredibly true. The game structure in Sunshine is ridiculous. The way that, like, I don't know, the amount of hidden stars compared to ones that you actively have to grab in level is wild. Like, the balance is completely off.
Gonna lie, I couldn't do it. I couldn't finish it. And that's the problem here is I think this is what really makes a good game great. Pacing. I want to feel like I'm close to finishing the game 100% once I get to the end of the story. Perfect example, Spider-Man. You already have like 90% of your upgrades before you go beat whatever the boss is at the end. 1 is Octavius and 2 is Venom, right? If there's more than 50% left to do after the main story, I'm out. I don't even want to do it anymore. Just a little reminder of why this is not cool for me is because how did I start the video?
I feel like after trying to be creative for so long, I just need some sort of structure to kind of help me reset from the open-ended possibilities of creating music.
Yeah.
This was just the most disappointing part of the game for me. I was really excited to complete this game, unfortunately. But the task of farting around the plaza, like I said earlier, just bumping into boxes, that just sounds so boring. I don't want to do that. So look, yes, I did play the game, but I didn't complete it. Does that make me unqualified to talk about the game? No, because I beat all the levels, I beat Bowser, I watched the credits roll, I feel like I got a pretty good perspective on how this game goes. If I do play this game again, which I'd like to in the future, I'd like to give it another shot, maybe I'll find a way to get all those secret shines before I beat Bowser. So when I get to the end, Bowser's the last thing that I do. But this game does have a place in the history books. It was the only Mario-centric game on the GameCube. It did introduce a whole new world in the music and the art. It was all great. But when it comes to a list of even my top...
Yo, Pepsi Man, that's elite ball knowledge. If you never played Pepsi Man, I think it was on the PS1, you don't know what you're missing. Absolute fire product placement.
100 games I've ever played. I haven't even played probably 100 games. It doesn't even make it there. Like, it was fun, but like, there's only like maybe 2 or 3 levels that were super memorable. For me, pacing is important. Creativity is important. Diversity and experience is important. I don't want to do the same thing over and over and over again. And then once I do those same things over and over and over again, I'm only 50% of the way done. Those crucial things, they just put me off from being a real diehard fan of the game.
Did bro just do 2 conclusions? Hold up.
Activities of maybe 2. It comes to did it. I beat Bowser. A place comments too.
Oh, way too much.
Bowser's the last thing that I do. But
yep, there's one.
This game does, for me, pacing is important. Creativity is fun, but like there's only like maybe important. Diversity, those same things from being a real diehard fan of the game.
There's 2 conclusions. I was right. That's hilarious. Good structure here.
I suggest that you play Super Mario Sunshine. What you need to do is take my opinion, please tell me I'm wrong. You need to play it. You need to experience it for yourself. And there's great ways to do this. So here's the best way to do it. Go over to eBay and buy a GameCube and buy Super Mario Sunshine complete in box. Okay, never mind. Another thing you can do is you can buy Super Mario All-Stars 3D on the Switch. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, no, all that's ridiculous. The fact that a GameCube and a copy of the game is like $245 is just dumb. Scalpers ruin everything. Resellers ruin everything. What used to just be a hobby is now an asset. It's ridiculous. There is definitely better ways to play this game.
I can't do that either. All right, so the best way that you got to go about this is you got to pirate.
No, he's right. You got to do that.
What do you think about Super Mario Sunshine? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? I would love to hear what you think. What was the game console that your older half-brother had at your house because your dad only saw him every other weekend? Tell me that in the comments too, because I feel like that's definitely a shared experience. This entire channel was created to promote my band, so check out my band.
We're going to have to check out the band. I bet we'll have to check that out. I bet it'd be good.
Cornborn, signing out.
No, that was pretty good. I mean, again, this guy, I think I like him a lot because he looks a lot like me. He's got a lot of the similar experiences as me. This first video, I'll cut him a lot of slack. Like I said, first video ever, so he didn't really understand writing structure, stuff like that. He had really good points. The game is really cool for a lot of those reasons, and it did suck for a lot of the reasons. I don't know if it was like worth calling the video as it lame because of a few things. I don't know, but like the majority of it, like he should have just been like, it's cool, but like, you know what I mean? Like, cause that was basically the premise, but either way, excited to keep going through this guy's channel. This was the only one it looks like he's ever done that's lame, so hopefully he never does anything else that's lame. Hopefully that'd be so crazy if the next video he did had something to do with about how much he absolutely hated an older game that everybody loves. So yeah, all these are different dopes, but the next one that we're gonna do is this Pokemon one, Pokemon Fire Red. That'll be fun. 204K views, that's bananas. 262K views on this Pokemon one, and 103K views on this Pokemon one. Everybody loves his Pokemon apparently, and nothing else. So whatever, dude. But yeah, we're gonna come back to that. It's been a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed my thoughts and my take on this new guy. Next video, we're gonna come back to his channel and check it out. So sayonara, gamers. Have a okay.